Chapter 77, The Archery Master. This chapter is updated by novels.pl. Zhang Yuochen and Ziqian dashed through the danger-ridden jungle, searching for a trace of the warriors from Square Commandery. From time to time, shrill screams could be heard in the dim light of the night. "Who are you?" "I'm the son of General Wai Wu from Square Commandery." "You puff." Their warriors from Square Commandery intended to kill those from Yunwu Commandery as a cruel lesson. They were killed, however, by two mysterious warriors first. A foul wind and a rain of blood came overnight. No matter how secretly hidden a warrior was, he would be eventually found out and slaughtered with Ziqian's outstanding tracking occult arts and smelling. By midnight, Ziqian had already killed 8 warriors. Blood dyed her purple outfit red. Zhang Yuochen did not mind killing, but he would not easily kill someone who did not deserve death. "I've killed 8. There are 12 to go." Holding her bloody sword, Ziqian was ready to hunt more. "Look out!" Zhang Yuochen caught her by the shoulder and dragged her 3 meters backwards. Swish! A purple thunder arrow pierced through the void and crashed into a weighty stone. With a huge boom, the stone burst into pieces. If Zhang Yuochen had not dragged her away, that stone might have been her head. Ziqian was cold and sweating. She glanced at Zhang Yuochen with gratitude, and looked up from where the thunder arrow came. She said, "What splendid arrow technique. They almost managed to kill me." Among all the young warriors in Square Commandery, there is only one person who can do this. He's Feng Zi, from the Feng family. The Fengs were one of the 8 7th-class families in Square Commandery. They settled where archery was famous in the 9 western prefectures. The Fengs were known as the family of archery. Feng Zi was one of the top prodigies among the Feng family. He was only 24 years old, but he had already reached the dawn state of the Black Realm. What's more, his archery also reached the intermediate stage of following the mind. Among all the young warriors in Square Commandery, there were only 3 who have reached the dawn state of the Black Realm. A man's voice came from the dark. It said, "Well, you deserve to be called the top one among the younger generation in Yunwu Commandery, because you know it is me. But the 9th prince surprises me more. I am really curious, how did you sense me in the dark?" Feng Zi was astonished, because few could escape from his arrow in the same realm. Moreover, it was a sneak attack just now. Of course, Zhang Yuochen would never tell Feng Zi how powerful his spiritual power was. Zhang Yuochen released his space domain and covered the 10-meter surrounding area with it, in case Feng Zi shot another thunder arrow. He said, "Of course you can't shoot us, because you are so bad at archery. You are the first one to laugh at our family's archery. Don't you know that during the Mo battle 2 years ago, it was my grandfather who injured your father, the Yunwu Commandery prince, with deer-threatening bow and steel-breaking arrow?" "Ha ha!" laughed Feng Zi. "Unfortunately, he missed a little bit, or your loser father could have been a dead man." Zhang Yuochen's look became stone cold. He said, "Looks like you are quite proud of it." Feng Zi laughed and said, "Of course. Our generous king granted us a city for injuring the Yunwu Commandery prince. There are over all 80,000 slaves in it. You know, that city originally belonged to Yunwu Commandery, and the 80,000 slaves once were the Yunwu Commandery's people. If we destroy you completely, our family will get more rewards. At that time, even you will become a slave in our family. If I asked you to bark, you wouldn't even dare to say a human word." Zhang Yuochen asked, "Do you want to irritate me and find my weakness?" "Ha ha. So what? You can't even kill me," laughed Feng Zi. Zhang Yuochen replied, "That being the case, I'll kill once today." Swish! Zhang Yuochen took out the flash-shining sword, and rushed into the dark woods at an extremely fast speed. In only one breath's time, Zhang Yuochen found Feng Zi, who was hidden in the dark. Of course, Feng Zi didn't think Zhang Yuochen could be this fast. He was a little surprised, but quickly drew his bow and shot 3 times. It was the unique martial technique of the Feng family, triple cloud-splitting arrows, which was in the superior class of the human stage. 3 thunder arrows dashed out like 3 streams of purple light. Bang, bang, bang. Zhang Yuochen struck 3 times as well. 3 shadows appeared in the air, and then the 3 thunder arrows were all knocked away. No, Feng Zi was very confident of his archery. Even a warrior at the medium state of the Black Realm could not survive all 3 arrows at such a close distance. Zhang Yuochen, however, didn't hide. Rather, he knocked them all away. Ziqian just arrived, and she was also shocked by the scene. Even for a powerful warrior like her, she couldn't guarantee she would survive all 3 arrows at 20 meters. Of course, they knew nothing about Zhang Yuochen's space domain. When the 3 arrows came into it, Zhang Yuochen could easily see their flight paths, so it was not that hard to knock them away. After knocking away the arrows, Zhang Yuochen did not stop but kept rushing toward him. In a single instant, Zhang Yuochen came to be right in front of Feng Zi. He stretched his arm straight out and stabbed. Zhang Yuochen burst out the sword comprehension at the advanced stage of sword following the mind. It looked like he was possessed by the god of sword, and a strong radiance about 2 meters high shone from his blade. Feng Zi knew he had no chance of using the thunder arrow now, so he used his bow as a weapon and struck towards Zhang Yuochen. After all, he was a warrior in the dawn state of the Black Realm. There was no way he would be afraid of a warrior in the initial stage of the Black Realm. Boom! They were both shaken backward due to the clash of their weapons. Feng Zi looked at his scratched wrist. He slightly changed color and said, "What an outstanding sword technique. If I were a warrior at the advanced stage of the Black Realm, my arm would have been chopped off. Your family took our city, but now I'll send your family's prodigy to hell," said Zhang Yuochen. Feng Zi sneered and said, "My grandfather almost killed your father. Who do you think you are? I was only a little inattentive just now. The battle begins, now." The word "now" had just finished, and Feng Zi spat a silver-thin needle from his mouth. The silver-thin needle flew towards Zhang Yuochen's heart unexpectedly. One had no chance to survive if the needle pierced the heart. But who could he have known Feng Zi had a needle in his mouth? Any other warrior, even another warrior in the medium state of the Black Realm, would have been killed by this ambush. But Zhang Yuochen was not any other warrior. When the needle came into the space domain, Zhang Yuochen sensed the danger and blocked it with his sword. The needle flew backward and scratched Feng Zi's neck, leaving a shallow blood stain. Feng Zi touched his wound, and became even more surprised. He said, "Did you just block my archery tongue?" Archery tongue was a technique that allowed a person to shoot weapons from their mouth with their tongue. It could be very surprising, and it could kill people while talking. Archery tongue was a secret technique of the Feng family. It was said that no one had ever survived it, and many warriors with higher cultivations than the users were killed by it. "Now it's my turn." Sacred breaking plum sword. Zhang Yuochen stepped out and stabbed. The gorgeous radiance was split into 7. Like a plum blossom blooming in the void. Feng Zi quickly stepped back. But no matter how hard he retreated, the 7 streaks of radiance kept approaching him like shadows. Feng Zi finally panicked. He widened his eyes and said, "The spiritual stage. How can you?" Puff. 7 sword breaths pierced Feng Zi's globula, penetrated his head, and flew away from the back of his head. A small, bloody plum blossom appeared on his globula. 7 drops of blood overflowed from there, looking like 1 stamen and 6 petals of a plum blossom. Zhang Yuochen put away his flash-shining sword. He walked towards Feng Zi's standing body, and touched his body with his sword scabbard. Boom! Feng Zi's body fell flat to the ground. Staring at Zhang Yuochen's back not far away, Ziqian let out a long sigh. After a long while, she finally said, "I thought you wouldn't kill." Zhang Yuochen replied, "He would kill me if I didn't kill him. What else can I do? What's more, you hurt him. He asked for it." "This is not my fault." Ziqian said, "You are in the initial stage of the Black Realm, but you can kill a warrior in the dawn state of the Black Realm. If you don't get yourself killed, with your talent, you can definitely become a warrior of Division Profound one day." Zhang Yuochen said, "In fact, I won because Feng Zi was an archery master. He had the advantage in long-range combat, but not in short-range combat. In short-range combat, He could only be seen as a warrior at the advanced stage of the Black Realm. Ziqian nodded. She was also confident that she could kill Feng Zi in 3 movements in short-range combat. Feng Zi was a top prodigy of the Feng family, and they have spent a huge amount of money in cultivating him. They have great expectations for him. Now that he has died in an exam of the school of the martial market, the older generations in his family will fly into a rage, said Ziqian. Zhang Yuochen squatted and found a small box from Feng Zi's body. There were 8 beast's eyeballs in it, which equaled to 4 inferior class level 2 savage beasts. I need 10 beast's eyeballs to pass this exam. Now there are only 2 to go. Zhang Yuochen smiled. He did not suffer from psychological trauma after his first killing. Zhang Yuochen's psychological predisposition was even stronger than many warriors in the Heaven Realm. Later on, Zhang Yuochen found 32 spiritual crystals and 1 2-star VIP card. One had to save 100,000 silver coins in the martial market bank to get a 2-star VIP card. He was indeed a genius from a 7th class family. Look at how rich he was. But there was no use in simply getting this card, because the owner had to drip a drop of blood on it to unlock the special prohibition. Only when the prohibition was unlocked could the owner draw money from the martial market bank. There was no use in collecting Feng Zi's blood now. After all, Feng Zi was dead, and his blood would lose its essence of life very soon. But without blood activity, the prohibition couldn't be unlocked. Seeing the 2-star VIP card, Ziqian said, Feng Zi's lineal relative's blood may unlock the prohibition. According to what I know, one of his brothers is practicing as one of the external students of the martial school. He is also a prodigy. In that case, I'll take it with me. Zhang Yuochen put the 2-star VIP card away. For him, 100,000 coins was not a small fortune.